Canine Body Language and Understanding Canine Communication, Part 2.
This video is really going to go over tails, ears, and the body. It's going to be just what you as the owner or the handler really want to look for if you're not understanding what your dog's doing, or if you just have a general inquiry or interest in your dog's behavior and what they're communicating. As this is a full-time profession, and I mean the biggest faults that you see with the owners is the communication between the two is so off. The dog is saying one thing and the human's saying another thing, and so much gets lost in translation or lost in communication, and then you guys are kind of butting heads. But if we can teach humans to better understand what their dog's saying and have a lot of these myths and conceptions about their dog and what their dog's doing, and throw that in the toilet or confirm it, it just helps better understand what your dog's doing, so you can better understand how to train your dog, or how to get them to where you want them to be. So I hope you enjoy the second video, and hopefully the more video clips I get, believe me, the more videos I'm going to do about body language, so that people can actually see this happening right in front of them, instead of on pictures or just by reading an article.
Tail wagging is a communication signal given from a dog to help get their message across to the recipient. You cannot solely judge a dog's entire behavior on just a tail wag. There are so many other signals and behaviors to take into consideration before you can make an assessment like that. Tail disposition says a lot with a dog, but it doesn't say everything. Generally, when we're looking at behavior in dogs, trainers, behaviorists, and consultants will glimpse at the dog's tail to see if it's high, neutral or in a low position, or even tucked. This tells us about the dog's brain arousal levels, which can actually give us a better indicator for what's going on. We have Luna and Mookie out for a walk. Luna's 5 years old and Mookie's 9 months here. Look at the difference in the body language, mainly with the tail. Luna is calm and relaxed, low head, low tail. Mookie is excited and interested in noises, which you can see affects the brain, which affects his body language. Tail high, ears up. Here is where things can actually get confusing for some. Tail tucked usually indicates fear or nervousness in dogs. However, we have Luna at sheep herding lessons waiting her turn, and her tail is tucked. I can tell you that she is not scared of anything right now, and you can actually understand that by watching other body language on her. Her body is loose, ears are up and relaxed, eyes are soft, open, relaxed mouth. So what's going on? She's actually incredibly anxious. She's just waiting for that second where she is unclipped and she can go and chase the sheep. How high this girl's tail is. It's almost touching her back, and she doesn't even have a curly tail. This is pretty obvious that she's on high alert about something around her territory, whether it's territorial behavior or whether it's hunting behavior. She's on high alert and she's ready for anything. This guy looks happy, right? Tail wagging, looking at me. Well, let's stop the video and we'll see if that tail wag means good things. No, this dog is quite fearful and unsocialized to people. Confrontation, not good for this dog. Tail wagging in his case means appeasement signals. He's trying to communicate with us that he's not 100% comfortable. This is Ty. He looks happy, ears up, rushing over to sniff the dummy dog's butt as if it were a real dog. Well, let's stop the video here. Does this dog look like he's happy to see the decoy dog? No, he wants to attack it and cause injury. This is a dog that was a stray who was lacking very much in social skills with other dogs and just wanted to make this dog go away. If we go back in the video, we also see a lip lick, which is a good indicator that this dog was not happy about seeing this dog. This dog, you can see the neutral tail position when walking, and watch it instantly change when he sees the dog in the driveway. Up and wagging. Now, did he look friendly there? Now, this dog is being highly obnoxious and rude. If you let this dog greet another dog, it could possibly lead to a fight, depending on what dog was on the receiving end. Look at the brown dog. He's like, wow, you're nuts. What is wrong with you? He's flinching. He doesn't want to go near that dog. Now for some positive tail wags. Luna here is instigating play with Mookie. Just watch the body crawling, the ears back, and which indicates in this scenario that she's very playful. Pure excitement for food with Mookie. You can even see him trying to sit and be calm, but the tail is a dead giveaway that he's still very much excited.
Yeah. And what else?
Okay, for the tail recap, a wagging tail does not always mean the dog is friendly. Tails tend to, but not always, go up when the dog is highly aroused. This means positive and negative emotions. Tails tend to wag when aroused. This means positive and negative emotions. Dogs also use their tail to communicate play, appeasement, which means not a threat, threatening displays, confusion, nervousness, anxiety, and fear, to name the most common. You cannot judge a dog's behavior strictly on the tail behavior. You must take into account the other body language in order to properly assess what is going on with the dog. In this video, you can actually see Luna's loose body language, and Mookie's actually being really tense because he doesn't know if she's out to harm him or not. He's a little nervous right now. So you see, one part of Luna's always wiggling, always moving. That's what you consider more of a loose body. You see Mookie, he goes from tense, completely rigid, and then he'll move quickly, and then he'll go tense again. Watch this dog. Does she look tense or loose? She's moving her head and sniffing, but her whole body is so rigid. Her tail's not moving. This right now is saying this is not a good greeting. She's feeling a lot of pressure with this person. You can see because she jumps back instantly. If we go back, you see she takes a step back. Her center of gravity shifts back. She does a paw lift. She quickly moves, and you actually see a lip look as well. So she's doing a lot of stress signals that can be easily overlooked by humans. Here you see incredible tension. A dog is approaching Luna and she is highly stressed. Watch the avoidance, the whale eyes, tongue flick, even a paw lift. She's screaming stress right now and she even snarls to get her point across to the other dog coming.
Yeah.
Girl boss. Hey,
Watch the loose body language coming up to the man. Watch it change as soon as she's confronted to say hello. You see a lip lick, which indicates stress. We see a paw lift, which is another indicator of stress. And we also see the center of gravity of her body shift away from the person in order to escape if she needed to. This young dog, which is the bigger dog, is actually just trying to play with the younger dog, the Chihuahua. But you can actually see, watch the tense body language of the Chihuahua. I mean, he's moving, but look how rigid he is. Does he look like he's having fun? No, he's trying to do avoidance, just like, oh gosh, please just leave me alone. It doesn't work, so he starts acting out and acting aggressive, and you can see those stress signals start to build, and then he has to act out aggressive because the pup is just not getting the communication signal that the Chihuahua is giving. So, tense versus loose body recap is tension in dogs can indicate apprehension, uncertainty, uncomfortable in a situation or scenario. Tense body language can be a warning indicator to dogs and people that this dog is preparing for the fight or flight response. If this behavior is ignored, aggressive behavior can happen, but not always. If you've ever heard of the calm before the storm kind of deal, that's what happens there. Loose body movements mean relaxation, comfortable, at ease in the situation. They're okay with what's happening and relaxed. Watch how they're playing, and then all of a sudden, when Luna's chased, she starts eating grass just randomly. This is a calming signal for a cutoff cue that she doesn't want to play with him anymore. Their cutoff signal, Luna turns around and you see that head to head, and Mookie's like, whoa, does a play about, lays down, and then buggers off somewhere else. Beautiful communication and beautiful listening skills. In this next clip, I'm actually going to let you guys watch the clip and see how many warning signals does Luna give the pit bull. Count, and then we'll go over it again and I'll explain all the warning signals. There are 4 warning signals. So the first one is the look at him and then looking away. This is avoidance. This is, okay, I want nothing to do with you. Second one is lip licking. This is a stress signal saying, okay, I'm getting a little annoyed. Third is grabbing the ball and moving, going, okay, I'm going to avoid this situation by picking up my toy and leaving. And then as he's following, she sees, okay, you're still following me. And then she actually moves in another direction. Again, more avoidance. However, the puppy here, he's just not getting it. And it is normal social cues that he will learn as he grows up. So subtle cutoff signals are, these are used to communicate from one dog to another that, I need a break, or I don't want to play anymore, I didn't like what you did, or I'm starting to feel uncomfortable, or one of the top views of why dogs will start to use them. Cutoff signals are generally used during activities involving 2 or more dogs. So playing together or greeting, saying hello to another dog on the road or something like that, or actually being forced to be put into a small scenario like a doggy daycare or a house environment. Cutoff signals can also be used as same as stress and calming and displacement signals that I went over in part 1. So the yawning, the lip licking, sniffing the ground, turning your head, scratching, urinating just out of the blue. Dogs that have been properly socialized tend to have a good routine and good exercise and good social interactions, will have better communication and can respond to these signals easier. Dogs who are lacking in social skills or, are just too excited, they're not getting enough exercise, tend to not be able to see these signals that other dogs give, and this can often create conflict, ending with aggressive behaviors from one or both dogs. Ears. Now, what your dog does with his or her ears will say a lot about what they're thinking and feeling, just like with the tails. All dogs have different ears, some perk straight up, some are droopy, but you can still actually read a dog's ears with either style. It's just a little bit harder with the flat ears. Unfortunately, when breeders or owners crop and or tape their dog's ears and tails, we humans, along with other dogs, cannot read or find it hard to read the dog properly. This can often cause miscommunication between the 2 parties. When a dog's ears are pointed back or flattened onto their head, the dog can communicate many different social signals, such as submissive behavior. You often see this in younger dogs when greeting new dogs. And a branch off of submissive behavior is making oneself appear smaller to avoid conflict or to not be intimidating. However, it's not necessarily classified as submissive behavior. Agitation, when a dog is tense or irritated, the ears will be back, but they're not quite flat on the head. And of course, elements of nature can cause your dog to put their ears back, such as wind or rain. When a dog's ears are perked up at the base of the ear between the head and the mid-ear, the dog can communicate different social signals such as listening, on alert, and interest. I mean, all of these pair right in together. The dogs will perk their ears up to be able to absorb all of the sound like a satellite dish. So this can be good for dogs that if they're hunting or if they're on alert for territorial behavior, you'll often see those ears perk up and they might even swivel. Another reason is making oneself look bigger and more intimidating. If a dog is going to use aggressive behaviors or feeling that aggressive behaviors are being used on that dog, they can actually perk up their ears and even their tail to make themselves look bigger and intimidate the other dog or whatever it may be off. Ear behavior recap. Our ears, just like the tail, can give a good indicator of the dog's brain arousal levels and what they're thinking. You cannot solely judge a dog's behavior on just the ears. You need to take into account what the whole body is doing in that moment, what scenario you're in, what environment you're in. Dogs that will have floppy ears, such as Basset Hounds and Beagles, or dogs with their ears crop taped, Dobermans, Pit Bulls, etc., like that, will be actually harder to read because you're not going to be able to see the whole ear. It's going to just be at that base of the ear, just like the base of the tail. Avoidance behavior in dogs, which basically means go away. And the reason why I love avoidance behavior so much is because actually humans use it a lot too. When they want to disengage from something, they'll actually divert their eyes to something else. And I mean, it's a good indicator that they're no longer interested in whatever you're saying or whatever you're doing. So you can see this little guy, he's just bugging the heck out of this big dog. And you see, he's just like, leave me alone. I'm just going to turn my head over here. And lo and behold, it works. You can actually see frame by frame with this dog about the avoidance. There's a lot of stress in there. So you see the lip lick, the eyes gaze turning away, the whale eyes, and then you see the head just turn. This dog wants nothing to do with whatever's in front of him. So the avoidance behavior recap is avoidance is generally characterized by a dog turning their head or body to avoid a situation, confrontation, or conflict. Head turns are one of the most used avoidance behaviors, which can also be classified into a stress, calming, and displacement signals. Avoidance is one of the first warning signals used with dogs before it escalates into aggressive behaviors, and this is also depending on the dog. Some dogs will have a stronger flight response. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all who donated video clips to help make this video possible for educational purposes. Don't forget to subscribe because I plan on making a lot more body language videos and other how-to tutorials on tricks and behavior and obedience training.